Episode 2 of the Sports Classic Review, and I've got Glenn Pawlowski, the greatest triathlete from Buffalo, or Buffalo's greatest triathlete.
Yes, Buffalo's greatest triathlete.
Absolutely.
Self-proclaimed.
All right. And someone who's mastered the tug of war in his day, I'm sure, Chris Huffins, Olympic bronze medalist from the 2000 games in the decathlon.
I don't know if I've mastered it, but I'm sure I've competed in it a time or two.
I'm looking forward to closing with a tug of war, and we've got a weird one. We're going from the World Series to Battle of the Network Stars.
Yes.
And this was awesome. And for anyone under 40, I don't know that we have anything for you. I don't know that you know what a network is.
Nope.
Back in the old days, there was networks on TV, and there wasn't a lot of choices, but there wasn't. There really wasn't. You had three major networks, CBS, NBC, ABC, all still in existence. And some genius came up with that. Actually, I'm going to do a shameless plug here if I can. I think that came from the mind of Rune Arledge, who you can vote for on the United States Athletic Hall of Fame in the contributor section, all of which we're a part of. nonhallofame.com/USA. Shameless plug. Every now and then I'm good at that.
Go there and vote.
Yeah. Yes, you can vote every day. Not continuously, but yeah, every day. You can definitely vote.
You can vote 365 times.
Yes, you can. Absolutely. And it's a pretty sweet thing. Nobody's ever done it. No one's ever come up with that. So again, shameless plug, but he came up with this great idea. I think it came from his mind, where celebrities would compete in athletics. Some are really good. Some are not. Some of these people are stars. Some are not. When I chose, we're not starting with number one. Maybe we should have started with number two. Did any of you look at the history of Battle of the Network Stars co-hosts?
I did.
No.
Wasn't Gabe Kaplan one of the hosts at one point?
Team captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember seeing that, and I didn't delve into it, but I might have even watched that the first time around, because I was into Welcome Back, Kotter, and okay, there is Mr. Kotter on the show, and I'm like, oh, you're no good.
But then he was.
Yes.
I mean, it's like him and Sandler, like Adam Sandler. Like, how the hell are you two good at sports? And they are. Go figure.
Oh, it's just crazy.
But episode 2, Howard Cosell, who did most of the hosting, his co-hosts, O.J. Simpson and Bruce Jenner.
Yes. 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 Those two used to be like the go-to crossovers always. It's funny to use that word, but they were always the go-to crossovers of anything that involved TV or Hollywood people and sports. They were always.
And now sort of like, I think if everyone looked back, or a lot of the women would look back in 77, all right, F, marry, kill. Well, they're all killing Cosell. Maybe not now.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The creep factor of this, I think the amount of times as we're looking at this, the things that you could do in 1982 that you could not do now is just
that list is long.
Actually, Chris, have you ever met the future governor of California?
I refuse to let you name him that, her that. Jesus, see that? See what you just did to me? Well, I will be honest. I know Bruce Jenner. I have not met Caitlyn.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
And I don't mean that as a shot. I don't
know. That's fine.
That's a time frame perspective.
I don't think it is. I saw her recently in an interview where she just says, well, it's crazy dad running for an election. So did that mean she misgendered herself?
I didn't hear that interview. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if she's admittingly saying that, then
that was this week.
You can kind of go both ways with how you want to address her current position.
There's so much sexual innuendo in that sentence.
I know, and I was trying to work through it and tried not to go that way, but it's just impossible to refrain from it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on. Neither OJ or a Jenner was the co-host here. It's Howard Cosell and Debbie Allen.
Yes.
A strange...
And
go ahead.
It's funny when you had presented this. Let's see how many times Howard Cosell can hit on poor Debbie Allen. And within the first 30 seconds of the show, here's poor Debbie Allen with 4 male actors just totally fawning all over her, picking her up. And
3 male actors and Jerry Cooney. Which is the funniest thing, because at first I didn't what the hell is Jerry Cooney doing?
Exactly. Why are they letting him compete? And it's like the commissioner, heavyweight contender. I love how they use the word contender.
Yes.
I don't think he ever contended for anything. And here he is, the commissioner for this pseudo sporting event.
He did.
Well, no, he has to be a contender because he had 2 title fights.
Yeah, because he fought. I looked at the timeline of this because he fought that fight against Larry Holmes. Where that was actually his first loss, was a year before. And then he went back, had a couple more wins, and then lost to Michael Spinks and then someone else. So he only had 3 losses over his career. But Jerry Cooney, let's be honest, he was a big deal because he was an American white boy.
Yes.
And they had a whole movie based on that. Was it Samuel L. Jackson?
What was it? The Great White Hype?
The Great White Hype.
Yeah.
It pretty much inspired by that.
That movie has one of my favorite lines of all time.
Yeah.
He said, I'm in shape. I'm round.
and the funny thing is, it's so weird how that all works out. I mean, look back then. It's like, and I remember thinking as a kid, and people were making fun of that. Oh yeah, Rocky's fighting Drago. I mean, 2 white guys for the heavyweight title. Oh, here we are now. I mean, the heavyweight champion's Tyson Fury.
Yeah, and for the longest time, the Klitschko's ruled the heavyweight division. Yeah,
I mean, as a big football fan, I think 30 years ago, if you would have said to me all right, no, I want a black quarterback and a white running back like McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, you're going 0-16.
Exactly.
Just different things evolve, different strokes, which is not represented here. Yeah. See what I did here?
I don't think Gary Coleman would be very good in the competition like this.
Ricky Schroeder was surprisingly good.
He didn't belong there.
Of course not. But he didn't embarrass himself.
No, he didn't. And then he's picking the 2 Heathers to put in the dunk tank so he can hopefully.
No, he didn't do that.
Oh, who did that?
That's going to be a Duke of Hazzard. But we'll get there.
Okay.
So we have our cold open, and then so we have. Yeah, 4 creepy guys pretty much fawning over Debbie Allen. Debbie seemed to like it, though.
Further on in the show, I'm watching this, and I can't remember who she's locking lips with, but I had to pause the video and say, who has Debbie Allen dated? I mean, is this one of her former husbands? And I look it up, and Debbie Allen's dated everybody.
Yeah, one of those names was Bill Cosby. I wonder how consensual that one was.
Well, it's funny. The one website was Bill Cosby, and it listed a whole bunch of the.
Cosby was married then, but so maybe that just.
Oh, he was married for a while.
He still is.
But they list all her. I don't want to say conquests, but flings, whatever, and they have their professions. And you get to Bill Cosby. It's got criminal in the occupation category. I just laughed. But yeah, I mean, Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, Angela. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was his name?
Oh.
Yeah. Maya Angelou is on Debbie Allen's list.
Whoa. Debbie Allen was in a relationship with Maya Angelou?
Yes.
What?
I kid you not. Here, let me send you this.
I missed that in
both of you. And this isn't the only site that lists it. Because again, when I saw her locking lips with Michael Warren, was it?
Oh, I'll tell you right now, because I've got that here in my notes. I guarantee you those 2 have been an item because it was different. Of course, Debbie Allen kissed everybody. I think that 14 people left that taping thinking, I got a shot with Debbie.
Oh, absolutely. She was very friendly. And we were worried about Howard Cosell.
So what are we saying? That Debbie Allen is the true predator of this show?
Yes, absolutely. Wow. And both sides needed to be worried about her.
This is not where I thought we were going.
Usually, go ahead, look at that list. I just said, like, but she was on Twitter that list.
She was married to Norm Nixon for like ever though.
Still is.
Go ahead and look at that list.
Are they still married?
Yeah, I looked that up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know when they got married though. I know they're still married. I think Norm Nixon, who you can also find, but not
no, you are right.
List. Yeah,
they have been married since April 27th, 1984.
Yeah, so that's
She's still married to Norm Nixon.
82.
She was working on marriage.
Yeah, which a line comes up later for that.
I mean, so Anthony Hopkins is on the list.
Who? Who's that?
Anthony Hopkins is on the list. Has been in a Sir Anthony Hopkins. Let's see. Morgan Freeman's on the list. Steven Spielberg's on the list.
Morgan Freeman, Steven Spielberg. Yeah, there are several women on this list too.
Damn.
Dude, Stevie Wonder's on the list.
You go, girl.
Okay,
Stevie Wonder is on the list.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but Stevie Wonder, I mean, like he could say like some random woman could have said like I'm Debbie Allen. How would he know?
You're horrible. You're absolutely horrible.
I'm distancing myself from him immediately. I didn't say that. All blind people of America or Canada or worldwide.
I am not a member of the Not Hall of Fame committee in whatsoever.
Okay, I do want to say that on this link that you sent, they always have commercials for stuff, right? There's an ad that says healthiest way to wipe your butt.
I don't. That's clickbait. I'm afraid to click on some of those things because it can take you down a very bad rabbit hole.
Yeah, I will never click on it because not only will you get the rabbit hole, the fear is what the algorithms will then send you.
Okay, to be fair, when I send it, this is a link that I'm generating in Barbados. So I don't know what the hell you guys are doing in the US when it regenerates. I just want to point that out.
But yeah, Debbie Allen.
All right, so we have a weird.
She had game, man.
Oh, obviously. So we got a weird cold open. This is shot in Pepperdine. So Chris, I mean, like compete, and I didn't wear my hat. I wore a Cal hat last time. You both called me sucking up to Chris there. I made sure my hair was on point today, so I didn't have to wear a hat.
I see.
Yeah. So, like, when you were at Cal, like, were you competing in that area? Like, so the Pepperdine facilities. Have you ever been there?
I have been to Pepperdine's basketball facility, and I've been to Pepperdine's baseball facility. I've actually never been to Pepperdine's track.
Okay.
As an athlete, I've seen it, but I've never run on it or anything.
Okay. Yeah. So most of this was shot it's all shot at Pepperdine over 2 days, as I sort of would later learn. They didn't actually do a roll call first. They went right to, it was a weird production thing that I thought, not to sort of say who's the cast pretty much of everything. Mm-hmm. So they went right into a swimming relay.
Yeah.
Which was strange. I mean, I thought that was pretty bad television, but what do I know? I'm not in television.
Early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the 80s, it was like, hey, I got an idea. All right, let's do it. Yeah. The things that were on television in the 80s, and let's be honest, some of the 90s, from 80 to about 93, some sketchy things on television.
You both are lucky you didn't see Canadian television.
Yeah, I mean, I was exposed to some of it, but again, unless it was leftovers from Hockey Night in Canada, and you turn on CBC the next morning, really didn't expose myself to anything other. I mean, my brother got into Mr. Dress Up, and I never understood that whole TV show. Creepy old guy dressing up in costumes and whatnot.
Yeah, my older brother said, "Don't watch that show." So,
well, I will tell you this: what's worse or more astonishing is not the shows. Just go back and watch some of the commercials.
That's
true.
You
remember the Cascade commercial? I think it was Cascade. It's like
is that
they were talking about secret? It was the Asian family, and they were talking about the cleaning of things. It's like ancient Chinese secret.
Oh, huh? No, yeah. Ancient
It
Chinese
was
secret. Yeah.
My
oh
husband's
God, like
In the laundromat, because that was the
yes,
jobs that Asians had back in the day.
yes, and that's like one of God knows how many like ridiculously inappropriate and let's sell products based solely on stereotypical things. Like every commercial and every ad from the 80s was like that.
the 70s and early 90s. Yep. That is very true. Marrying someone
Yeah.
from Asia though, and going over to Indonesia. Pretty much if I see my representation, it's usually for a mayonnaise commercial. So it does cut both ways.
Yeah. I mean, the unfortunate part, and I say this all the time, is the unfortunate part about stereotypes and bigotry and things of that nature is they are at some level that they're rooted in some level of fact, which is why they stick. Right. Like when you're playing the insult game with somebody, the ones that have a hint of truth are always the ones that hit the hardest.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So they start off with the swimming relay. John James of Dynasty takes ABC to an early lead. John James was pretty much will consider the MVP of this event. Any argument here?
No, none.
Yeah.
No, he was probably the best combination.
Yeah. Anyone watch Dynasty?
Oh my God.
I never watched Dynasty. I mean, a lot of these shows I did not watch. And again, going back to what we previously discussed on how Friday nights, this was preempting Greatest American Hero, which is one of the shows I loved watching when I was a kid. And I was probably at my grandparents' house because parents were probably out Friday night. Mm-hmm. And my grandmother knew all these nighttime soap operas and whatnot knew Heather Locklear. And I totally forgot that your namesake was on TJ Hooker.
Yep.
Totally forgot about that. But yeah, just going through some of those stuff. I mean, I forgot Melissa Gilbert was in the Little House on the Prairie reboot or whatever it was.
A lot more Melissa Gilbert on that one. But yeah, Dynasty was a show I did watch. Dallas and Dynasty were the two nighttime soap. There were two big giant nighttime soaps at the time. So I do remember watching that. Couldn't tell you.
I don't think anybody didn't watch Dallas though.
That's true.
Again, I had an 8 o'clock bedtime back then, a strict 8 o'clock bedtime. So yeah, I was not allowed.
I just remember that the episode where we found out who shot JR actually had greater ratings than every Super Bowl up to then. At that point, it was the most watched television thing in history at the time.
Right. So I got a trivia question for you both. What is the highest non-rated Super Bowl sports event?
TV show or otherwise?
No, just sports event, non-Super Bowl. Got to be sports.
Sports event, non-Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Highest, but non-Super Bowl. But it could be any other sport event?
Any other sport.
I mean, I would imagine it's something in the Olympics.
Yes. But what?
Are you going to give us a decade?
90s.
90. Ooh.
I'm pretty sure.
Not the Dream Team, is it?
No.
Okay.
That would be a good one. Then USA versus Angola.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to say maybe Michael Johnson's 200 night in 96.
No.
Because that night there was like him and something else that happened that night. I don't know.
Short program, figure skating, Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh my God.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
That would be another good one at some point in time.
Why?
And that movie, was it with I, Tonya? That was an incredible movie.
It is.
It was an incredible movie, and I couldn't. It was the world's greatest train wreck that you just couldn't stop watching.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, I probably had nothing better to do. Say, I, Tonya, people are talking about this. I'll throw it on just for shits and giggles, and I couldn't stop watching it.
was a good
And the
thing.
acting was very good.
It was really good.
I mean, the actress who played the mother, I can't remember her name, but she's
Allison
yes, she was incredible.
Yeah, she's
absolutely
amazing.
incredible in that role.
An Oscar winner, and we have another Oscar winner who actually was here tonight. I think she won an Oscar. So second leg, Bruce Boxleitner takes the lead from Bring 'Em Back Alive.
Bruce Boxleitner.
I think he later would become Scarecrow in Scarecrow and Mrs. King. The team three, third leg, Joan Van Ark falls apart, and Howard Cosell
horrible
line there. Joan Van Ark can barely swim, easily taken over here. This is just a level of ineptitude that we've never seen. That's what I love about Cosell. Cosell made this like a sporting event, which it was.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. No question.
She was horrible. I mean, I know in the post-event interview, they all drew straws because none of the other women on the team could swim.
There was only one other woman. It was her and Delta Burke, who later would become very famous as a flotation device.
Ouch.
I have that in my notes and I wasn't going to bring it up.
Brutal.
Oh my God, Delta Burke was hot at one point?
Yeah, she was.
She was in Miss Florida.
Yeah, she was a smoke show.
And I'm like, okay.
She was even super hot when that show Designing Women started. And then hot. What the fuck? Like, there's never been sort of like a level of dropping. I don't know. I don't have a good analogy. I wasn't prepped for this, but.
Well, you get comfortable in life and you let some things go and you just, hey.
But to be fair,
I'm where I'm at.
To be fair, she's still married to the same guy from around the same time. Gerald McCready, Simon and Simon.
Makes him a stud.
Right. And later on, Major Dad?
Yeah, Major Dad, and his partner from Simon Simon is actually here too.
Okay. So I never watched Simon. See, I never watched any of these shows. I mean, I forgot that Helen Hunt was on network TV before Mad About You and Twister.
I didn't know. I didn't know until this.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I didn't know that.
So then Helen Hunt takes the lead here in round 4. She's clearly a pretty good athlete, and then it goes to, Jesus Christ, Stephen Collins. Out of all the people that if you were to watch in 1982 and say like, hey, one of these people is going to be a pedophile.
Yikes.
But he was. He is.
I didn't say yikes because you said something wrong. Yeah. I said yikes because it's true.
Yeah. So it's like, holy crap. And so, because he was the star of a show called Bring 'Em Back Alive, an Indiana Jones reboot or ripoff. I guess maybe it could have been retitled for Bring 'Em Back as long as they're under 16.
Oh my God. I cannot with you.
What?
Wait, 16? Is that the age of consent in Canada?
No, I don't know.
Why 16? You can't bring them back. Whatever.
Bring him back willing?
I
think obviously not willing.
16's what's the expression? 16 to get you 20. So I think like 17 is the age of consent in the United States.
Well, isn't it by state?
Whatever that is. I don't really know.
By state.
It's a good thing that none of us know.
Yeah, the last time I was having a conversation about teens, I was talking to a teen about his teenage girlfriend.
And how he's got to be careful. You better know the law, son.
There's a group of people, and I'm not going to get in this long philosophical thing, but there's a group of people that, even the Christian in me says, some people should not and cannot be saved.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
There's what's the line from Sling Blade? Some people just need killing. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, the pedo was the star of round 1, and takes what it did.
Well, no, you know who was really good? Jamison Parker. I'm watching this. I'm watching him do his. It was probably the 25-yard. They had to do there and back. Or I can't remember what leg he did, but I'm looking at it and I had to stop it and rewind it. And I'm like, he did a flip turn. And how Cosell mentioned, oh, there is Jamison, there's Parker doing the flip or the race turn. And I'm like, what the hell is he talking about, a race turn? So I had to rewind it. Sure enough, Parker's doing the flip turn. Now, if you're in this tournament and you're doing a flip turn, you're a ringer. You're
ringer.
Absolute ringer. Because the fact that nobody's wearing goggles, half these swimmers can't swim, and there's Jamison showing off, probably trying to catch Debbie Allen's eye so he could get some after the swim. Does the flip turn to try to impress people. That was the highlight of the swim.
The battle for Debbie Allen's pants.
which I think was already cemented by Michael Warren before, but
later on, she was, and I think she initiated it.
But at least, but look, at least Michael Warren makes sense.
Yeah, two-time All-American,
right? And I mean, she ended up marrying a basketball player, so at least that one makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
It was all the other people. like that list is scary. Like
Chris,
literally,
she had a good time.
Man, I'll tell you what. You know that game, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon? Man, if we played 6 Degrees of Debbie Allen,
you don't have to go that far.
We could get to anywhere.
All right. How do we get from Debbie Allen to me?
From Debbie Allen to you?
All right, probably not. I just made a big opening. None of you take that, please.
I was going to say, we could probably get there. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, okay. So Commissioner Jerry Cooney shows up, says something's fair. I don't know. I didn't pay attention because I didn't understand anything he said.
No.
Well, to his credit, he has a thick accent and probably a brain made of mashed potatoes at the time.
Thick accent from where? From Jersey?
Have you ever been to Jersey?
No. Well, yes.
Because there's a thick accent from Jersey. You understand what I'm talking about?
You, I understand. Him, I didn't understand.
Yes, because I have a terrible Jersey accent because I'm not from Jersey.
Sure.
I'm just a prototypical New Yorker making fun of New Jersey people.
No, that's part of gotten hit in the head way too many times.
Exactly. His brain was clearly made of Grey Poupon at the time.
Was that one of the commercials?
Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
So ABC
goodness.
ABC takes the lead. At the end of it, they make Cosell just obliterates Joan Van Ark. And then they finally do the roll call. And my God, it's just the elite and the nobodies and everything in between. So they start off with Shatner, team captain, then Collins, Helen Hunt, John James, Heather Locklear, Kathy Masinick. I don't know who she is.
I think most people were surprised, by the way, that Heather Locklear was actually a good athlete.
Did Heather Locklear didn't even do anything athletic in this? I don't remember. I think she only.
I remember Heather Locklear doing one of the running things. Maybe she did a leg of the obstacle course. She did something because I remember thinking to myself, I didn't think she was athletic at all.
So then we had Heather Thomas who says, I'm on the fall, guy. So then she pretended to fall.
No, you know what it was? It was Heather Locklear's relay.
There it
Her
is.
team got set way behind, and she made up so much ground on that second leg.
Oh, okay.
I knew
I have that in my notes. Heather Locklear can run, and it had to have been that relay that they did at the end or near the end of the show.
Yeah, you're right. And then
I remember thinking, I can't believe Heather Locklear is actually athletic.
Well, then it closes off on the roll call with somebody I forgot was even still employed in the 1980s, Lamont Wilson. I've got a lot to say about him later, so I'll just leave that.
Okay.
So then we go to the CBS team. CBS team. Team captain Kevin Dobson. I don't remember this guy at all.
No.
So apparently he was in Kojak, and now he just went over to Knots Landing. Never watched that. Boxleitner.
I never watched Knots Landing. I didn't watch Kojak, but the thing is, everybody could have been on Kojak because it was only Telly Savalas.
That's true.
Like if you ask anyone who was on Kojak, everyone will tell you Telly Savalas, and you're like, okay, for $1 million, name 2 other people. Nobody gets
Couldn't do
that.
it.
You're right.
No chance. I watched every episode, and I couldn't tell you one other person on that show that was a regular, like that was like, you know, not a guest, because there was a bunch of cameos, but like, you know, I got a better chance of giving you different lines that Kojak said than I do who else was on that show besides Telly Savalas.
I have to look at, because Telly did captain the team once, so we might want to look at that. So we have Bruce Boxleitner, Delta Burke, who was in a show called Filthy Rich. I don't know what that is. Apparently it's a Dallas knockoff or Dallas parody, like a soap or something. Byron Cherry, Dukes of Hazzard, as Coy. He might as well just enjoy this, because as we later found out, these people got paid. Coy better have kept his money.
That shocked me.
I didn't know that. Yes.
When they were going down the list, I can't remember who he was interviewing, but $360,000 spread up amongst the 3 teams. And he interviewed the one actor. Oh yeah, the money was part of it, but we like the competition. I kept waiting. Well, who are you donating the money to? What
right. You thought it was a charity.
I kept waiting for it.
Nope.
And no, they're keeping the money. So how tough was it on actors in the early 80s?
For some of them, pretty bad.
They want to win first place because that's $20,000 versus the third place $10,000 winners or the losers' money.
Which is
shocked me.
But the funniest part, and we talked about this like kind of in the pre-show, right? Not only like are there a million reasons that you couldn't do this show now, can you imagine how much money it would take to get this show done now?
It. So who would it be? Netflix versus Amazon versus Hulu?
No. Because remember, the track has 8 lanes. Oh man, we're good. We got HBO, we got Netflix, we got Amazon Prime, we still got NBC.
Oh yeah, look, absolutely. You're right. The track has 8 lanes.
Right, we got Fox. We still got NBC, CBS, and ABC. Like, we could get this done. I mean, I think we might have room for the CW.
I think the CW would win.
The CW would win because they got all the superheroes.
They have all those superhero shows, and you see in the promotional photos, the women on the show are built. The men playing they're built. Forget it. They can't be. CW would not be invited.
The networks would get destroyed.
Yes.
The 3 networks would get hammered into submission.
But it'd be fun to see.
Oh, it would.
For sure.
So other people are Christopher Norris from Trapper John. Never watched that one either. Jamison Parker. Penny Pizer?
Never heard of her.
Well,
Never heard of her.
Yeah, so her intro was like, I'm going to be in the blue and the gray, and you're going to watch me sort of like get those Yanks.
Okay.
All right.
No, again,
I did. Yeah, that was.
You couldn't do now.
Well, I mean, and you'll watch me on the blue and the gray, a TV miniseries. Oh, we didn't watch her because I don't know who the hell you are. Nice haircut, by the way. Jesus Christ. I know in different eras that women's hair sort of like evolved. That was a devolve.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember that show called The White Shadow?
Yes.
That was an awesome show. Wait, didn't Coach get into the Hall of Fame or our Hall of Fame?
No.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
He didn't get in.
No.
Fictitious one.
I want Ken Reeves to get into the fictitious athlete Hall of Fame. Proof that I don't rig it is that he's not in it.
Yeah, well, I figured
that show was amazing, right? But you couldn't even name that show. They couldn't even have its name now.
No, they couldn't. And some of the episodes you probably would have a hard time airing.
No doubt.
So many things to do. And then closing off with Joan Van Ark. And then Team NBC. Well, if you loved Hill Street Blues, you loved this. I never saw one episode. So Daniel J.
How did you wait? Time out.
All right.
I'm sorry, sir. How are you living and the age that you are and never saw an episode of Hill Street Blues?
I never saw it.
That's like literally one of the best television shows
I'm sure
ever.
Well, I don't disagree with you.
And it was on forever.
Created by a Buffalo native, I believe.
Never saw it.
Man.
It was good. It was a good show.
It was really good. And you know what's funny is that Mr. Warren was actually a really good actor in that movie, in that show.
No, I'm again not disputing that. I just never watched it. That was just every one of us has one of those things that we don't see. Another one that I've never seen, have never, for our younger viewers, if there are any, I don't know a single Harry Potter thing.
Well, that's actually, look, that's not that ridiculous because, do you have kids?
Not in this country.
I do not,
Well,
no.
so there you go. That's why. It's not that ridiculous. If you had kids, it would be actually impossible. But I'll turn over my underbelly and I'll make you feel a little bit better. I've seen a great number of Seinfeld episodes now, but
Why
when the show came,
why would that make me feel better?
because when the show was on, I never watched an episode of it.
Yeah,
So
but
if
Chris,
it
what were you
wasn't-
doing back then? You were competing for gold medals.
Well,
I was in the dorm
as-
room. Kirk was
as true as
fluffing off
that
doing
is-
something else. You were doing something.
Okay.
Seinfeld
go back
came
here.
on the
Both of you-
same time as another show. And it was literally, these things were kind of separated on borderline racial lines, right? New York Undercover and Seinfeld came on the same days at the same time.
It's New York Undercover.
See?
I know. I just made your point for you.
Okay, but yeah, also going back to that with Kirk, both of you were also sort of like athletes and could do sort of things with women. I had to watch TV.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe you got to realize I'm just an amateur athlete who didn't make any money off of it. Chris he probably has the mansion in the hills and his gold medals hanging from the mantle.
Oh boy.
But here we are. Ironically, I'm the trophy husband in the tropics. So
You are.
Exactly. See, it's a marathon, man. Life is a marathon,
is.
and
There
you
you
are
go.
definitely winning in the last 8 miles of our lives.
Kirk Buchner is
I'm the-
winning.
I'm the Rosie Ruiz of this.
Oh my!
If anyone
goodness.
gets that one, then you're definitely the right age for this.
Which train did you take? See, I got it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I do that part. I don't know. I've never been in that city. All right. So what do we got here? So after we do the roll call, so Daniel Giovanni, Dean Butler from the Little House reboot, Tina Gale, which we'll talk about later. I had no idea who the hell she was. Melissa Gilbert, who Howard Cosell would make very, very creepy.
Oh my God. The little girls. Oh.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Ricky Schroeder, who is my doppelganger, I always said. When he was a kid, I looked like him. I looked like him as a kid. I was a less attractive Ricky Schroeder for all of my life. Now I see what he looks like now. It's like, okay, well, okay, I'm a little bit better looking than you, but now, like, fuck. I mean, like, you beat up your girlfriends, so damn it. So I guess you won't be playing me in the life story of me.
No.
Lee Taylor Young, don't know who that is. Mike Warren, who we talked about. So that's but they built up how he was a superstar at UCLA, which is going to be a big thing here. Howard Cosell then talks more about his co-host Debbie Allen, compares her to Lynn Swan.
Yeah, he did.
And then we see
the one thing I never
gracefulness,
understood.
if you want to make that stretch.
The one thing I never understood is how the other teams let NBC, I think it was, have Mike Warren. Right? Like, it's one thing to be an actor who's athletic. It's a whole nother thing to have been an athlete first.
At the elite
right?
level.
That dude has national championships for playing basketball at UCLA. Like if there's a ringer.
But it worked out though. I mean, because he wasn't the best guy in theory.
Well, he wasn't the best guy.
Well, in this one.
He wasn't the best guy because of the events that they chose to put him in. There were events that they could have put Michael Warren in that I was like, seriously?
Okay. But to be fair, Chris, these were the events that they pretty much had from almost the beginning. So it's not like Michael Warren didn't know what he was getting into. And he had been in there a few times. Because I look at like what they had going in. It's not like, all right, we're going to alter these events because we've got a former NCAA basketball champion. They didn't, like, this is pretty much what they always had.
Yeah. I always thought it was
like corruption here in the Battle of the Network Stars. We're throwing a red.
I always thought it was amazing that he was in the group.
but there's hardly any actors at that point in time. Now there's like, I'll put it this way: if I had a kid, thank God I don't. God, I'd be a terrible dad. Jesus Christ. But if I did, like, if I was my age now 20 years ago, and my son or daughter says, I want to be an actor, I would have been pissed off. Now there's so many options. There's so many channels. I could see my child being able to find a career. Back then,
I don't know if it's changed.
I don't know.
Sure
I don't think it's changed. I don't think it's
look how
changed
much
that much
television there
because
is.
yeah, but there's still more actors than there were then.
Sure.
Yeah,
but
and I mean,
Like I think the percentages are the same, if not worse. Think about it like this. Think about the number of highly decorated actors or actresses that you know who are struggling to get consistent work. I mean, Halle Berry is still a smoke show. B has an Oscar, and she's still like is not prolific. She's still fighting to get roles. And I'm not just picking her. And I know that's a Black female, so sure, that's the low-hanging fruit I could pick. But there's a lot of actors who I'm surprised don't have regular work, especially as you put it, given the number of outlets as there are. So I don't know. I think acting is still, I don't think acting is any less dodgy now than it was then. Like, I think you're still going to end up being more of a waiter than you are an actor.
right.
all right,
Because
I'd
you
be
have
less
all these
concerned.
outlets. I mean, not that actors are a dime a dozen, but if someone wants to start a show or a web type of program and pitch it to the Netflix, the Hulus, the Amazon Primes, there are enough good actors out there. We're like, okay, we're gonna have a casting call. You're gonna get $1,000 for this pilot, or I don't even know if that's the going rate, and it may make it. And if we get a contract, well, we're gonna give you this rate, and that's
All right,
your
okay,
first role.
So I'm wrong about my fictitious kid.
You know, it's a good thing this fictitious kid is just not. It's a good thing he's fictitious. Let's put it that way.
It is definitely,
There's so
But no,
many.
young fictitious Kirk is it's good that he's in Harry Potter land.
Kirk Jr.
Yes.
All right, so then we're going up to the kayak thing. So they have a quick bit with Damon Wilson. So how come you're not competing in this? Well, there's no kayaks in Harlem.
Oh man.
Well, they got
Well, I mean, Damon Wilson ended up coming back and competing in something after he dislocated his shoulder on the monkey bars or something.
Something like that.
Was it the obstacle course that he crashed on?
So yeah, we've got here's a line that you wouldn't hear. So after the first leg, we've got Dean Butler against Penny Pizer and Heather Locklear. It's a good strategy for a man to take the lead against two women. Which I guess, I don't know. Byron Cherry takes over in the second leg. Joan Van Ark actually did not screw up. It was actually Dobson who could not get into the kayak. Everything fell to shit. And William Shatner was fantastic here.
Shatner was spectacular in general.
Well, here at the end of it, I don't even know. I rewatched this 5 times and I don't know what the hell they said. So I think Cosell said, what are you trying to do? Build a monopoly here? Well, I'm trying to build a menage of something here.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. What are you talking about?
Like, I got Shatner's line, but I'm not really sure what Cosell did to build it up. And then sure enough, then the two Heathers show up and I'm sure Shatner was on full creepy mode, sort of like made sure his toupee was looking good.
I mean, the Heathers in those days were like the Jessicas, of today.
Where were the two Jessicas?
Alba and Beale.
Is that even today? Are we dating ourselves?
I mean, it's okay. So what's that? 5 years ago? They're not hot now. Hello?
Oh no, they're still very attractive ladies.
Exactly. There's two more actresses that we don't see very often anymore.
Well, one essentially by choice. Heather Locklear did exceptionally well for years and years and years later. On Melrose Place and whatnot. So I think
She was a rock and roll girlfriend for a while. I mean, which rock star did she date?
Tommy Lee.
I don't know.
So then we wound up with a montage of TJ Hooker, a clip of TJ Hooker. Jesus Christ, I don't remember this show. I know he was on the Star of that, and it was basically like, I'm gonna get you, and he uses his nightstick, and then Adrian Zemed, his poor co-star, just like stares at, pull out your gun. It's 1982. You can do that. It's okay. And he's just standing.
I would love to see somebody do to do reboots of 80s shows. Just like on a comedy channel. You know what I mean? Like, because they would be like things that they were so serious about in today's world would just be comedy.
Oh my, that would be fantastic.
I could play Shatner, and because if you looked at that clip, they had a stunt double anytime that something got rough.
Oh, man.
I can do the overacting.
Shatner did such an incredible job of overacting that it became like it's like a verb. You're Shatnering.
Well, and then he had an interview. It says, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it with my total being.
Well, there you go.
I mean, like, doesn't necessarily mean he does it well.
But he does it hard.
Well, okay, I'll say this. I don't know if Glenn heard this. Chris, I'm sure you haven't. When I started dating the person who became my wife, and sort of like came, because I'm named after Captain Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, what else do I say to that? Like, of course you are.
No, because that's what I'm named after. And so then I'm trying to explain that to my wife, who's an Indonesian immigrant, who had been in Canada for 6 years before I met her. And then I say, oh, it's William Shatner. And then by the time she figures out who William Shatner is, she looks at me, she says, like, you're named after the Priceline guy?
See?
She never saw Star Trek.
Yeah.
William Shatner reinvented himself to the
so many times.
Again, kudos on him.
It's he's an icon. I mean, what was it? It was a Family Guy episode where Stewie is doing the takeoff of Rocket Man,
yes,
and William Shatner doing the spoken word, which is hysterical. And when I saw Stewie doing it, I had to go back and see the William Shatner original, and they were just identical. And you watch them both, and it's hysterical.
Because guaranteed, Shatner at that time thought that he was doing something artistic, but
then years later, he did Common People.
Well, because he figured out.
It was great.
Self-aware. It's like,
it was great.
Yeah, because he figured out, like, all right, I just did a major miss. How is it a miss? Okay, I get it. I'm going to run with it. William Shatner is a genius. I really believe that.
The funniest part about it, right, is that, like, obviously William Shatner is now and will forever be Captain Kirk. But what so many people don't realize is, like, how bad that show bombed when it came out originally.
True.
Right? Like, that's what makes Star Trek so amazing, right? As a thing in a franchise, is it failed and then dominated lives as a rerun.
Do either of you sort of like watch the original Star Trek in reruns? Because that would have been all of us.
I watched them. So for me, they were coming out originally, right?
Oh.
Because remember, when they first came out, literally nobody watched them.
Yeah, but that was late 60s. You weren't alive.
Right. No, so that's what I'm saying. So when they came out, when I was a kid, they were coming out almost as if they were new. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know there were reruns. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
So like it was when Star Trek became a thing, was when I was a kid. We didn't know it was a rerun because so few people watched it the first time, and it was on like, it wasn't the Sci-Fi Channel then, but whatever the hell it was on, nobody watched it, right? So they bought it and then put it on, network television, and then everybody was all over it, right? And Captain Kirk was, he was amazing, and Captain Kirk had sex with a green chick, he was amazing.
Yeah, he did.
But it's just funny, right? Like literally the show. That's why there aren't that many episodes.
What was it? 3 seasons?
Yeah,
I think it's 3 seasons.
yeah, 3
No,
seasons.
the movies were how I got into it. And like you're saying, the TV shows were long gone by the time I came around, and they might have been on Saturday mornings or Saturday evenings on whatever far-flung network that happened to have the rights. And you'd throw them on and say, "Oh, this is how." You mean there were shows before the movies? And so
Right.
that's how I stumbled upon them.
Worst thing too is when I got named too, because my dad's a drunk, so am I. So.
And fictitious Kirk Jr. is probably a drunk too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so my older brother says, who was like 10 years older than me, name him Kirk. We're like, ah.
Wow, I didn't know that part.
Oh yeah, that's how I got named. My dad doesn't give a shit about Star Trek. Doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff. Every
That's
time,
so
like
funny.
I call him every day. So like, this is what I did today. So like, sounds like crap. Like, all right, thanks, Dad. Love you.
Your older brother basically named you.
Yes.
That's wild.
That's hilarious. Hey, you should be happy that your older brother like Captain Kirk and not Family Guy or something. Your name could have been Stewie.
Or Batman
Well, that didn't exist
Chalupa.
then, but my brother's name is Hans. What if he got into a German show? I could have been Franz.
Oh my God! Yeah, and I would have laughed
Hans
in
and
your
Franz.
face
Yeah.
every time I saw you.
As
Hans
you
and
should.
Franz.
As
We're
you
going to
should.
pump you up.
Wow. Yeah, totally.
Oh,
All right, so where do we go here? So we do the 3-on-3 football.
I totally forgot about the 3-on-3 football.
It was more of a montage. Shatner is much.
It was highlights.
Swimming, he threw 3 interceptions to Michael Warren. And then that's sort of like where they talk about his being a 2-time All-American. And Cosell does an interview with him. It's like, so you were in the shadow of Jabbar and you're in the shadow of Daniel J. Travanti. Again, a sentence that will never happen again.
No.
I was actually shocked to read that he's still alive, Travanti, because he looked older than dirt to me.
Yeah. I mean, he
just aged quickly because of his alcoholism. Oh, alcoholism, sorry.
Right. And that was funny I shouldn't say funny. It was interesting when host Howard was talking about the disease and how you've overcome it and whatnot. And Daniel's talking about, healthy lifestyle and I'm clean.
Relapse.
I don't do anything. I don't take tranquilizers of any kind. And right then and there, I paused and said, wait a second, tranquilizers? Was that like a thing in the early 80s where you just everyone else was pounding with tranquilizers? And here Travanti saying, I'm not on any tranquilizers. Does that mean half his team's on tranquilizers? How many are on tranquilizers? I want to know these things now where tranquilizers was a big thing that he's proud that he's not on.
Well, Chris,
like, you guys ever think about the drugs that were available like readily in the 80s?
Well,
like, how did any?
I'm not on anymore. I'm not on heroin anymore. But here he goes right to tranquilizer. I'm not doing tranquilizers at all.
How did any of these act? Like, I mean, think about it. If you're an actor or a musician, right, in the 80s, how did they survive?
Some just,
I guess,
right? Keith Richards is alive. I remember an episode, I can't believe I actually watched this, but of Blossom, where they made a joke how, in the event of a nuclear holocaust, they say that cockroaches will be the only ones left, but I think we're underestimating Keith Richards. That was 30 years ago. Keith is still alive.
And he looked like death warmed over 30 years ago.
Yes.
Yes.
But I did recently read where he quit smoking.
Oh, good on him.
That's he'll get about 10, 15 more years just off of that.
God. Sure he will.
in my notes, I got Jerry Cooney makes some kind of decision. I don't remember what the hell it was.
I have Jerry Cooney's useless. I think it was about the tie, or they tied in points and had to go to their version of overtime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It was tied in something, and so they just like carded him out. Like, all right, go say this. Like,
Well, the whole 3-on-3 football rules was I mean, it wasn't based on any touchdowns. It was you complete this pass, or you get an interception or a sack, and
it was a participation trophy. I wish I could have got like points for every time I got to the 10-yard line. Jesus.
So yeah, I think the winning pass was to one of the female actresses inside the 5-yard line. Oh, that's worth the points. You won. Just like it was useless. Yeah. 3-on-3 football was useless.
So then we have a little montage on Tina Gale. I don't remember anything about her. In the last season of Chips. Either of you watched Chips?
I love Chips. I don't remember Tina Gale.
I don't either. So she was like last season. So they have her interview with her, and she says, which kind of just tells you right there why you never heard from her again. I'm not really ambitious. I think things just happen the way they're supposed to. Well, I guess you didn't try after this shit happened, didn't you? Fuck. And then after that, it's like, how could you became a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader? Well, my dad says, what, your dad? What kind of fucking dad is this? If I have a daughter, and I don't, thank God, but if I did, I wouldn't say, like, hey, you know what? Here's something you should do. Go get ogled by a bunch of fucking freaks.
Grab this short skirt and a tank top and
Jesus Christ.
I think rule number 1 in the dad handbook is make sure your daughter is never in a dunk tank on worldwide TV.
I thought it was like rule 1, stay off the pole.
When it's like, yeah, that is literally like I think the title of the father's handbook is keep her off the pole. Mm-hmm. So then that's basically insinuated from birth. Rule number 1 is there then, never allow your daughter to do anything naked permanently. So no porn, no all of those things.
This was just awful. I after that interview, I didn't wonder why I never saw her do anything again, because clearly, like, okay, I fell into this. I'm just gonna go back and be a Texas housewife, wherever the hell. Which is probably what happened. Don't know. I have no idea.
You know, I will say this: as long as I've been alive, I've seen beautiful women do a various number of things with that beauty, and that can the gambit of how that can go is probably larger than the Grand Canyon, right? Like, beauty in and of itself is like, we'll call beauty an asset like gold, right? But gold can only go so bad or so good, right? Beauty can literally take you to the depths of hell or carry you to heaven. Like, it is amazing what choices women have to make and what life things they have to deal with that particular gift from God, beauty.
And to her credit, though, I mean, like, she just was content. I don't know where she is now. I'll bet she's happy.
Probably.
I hope so.
Hey, she was on Battle of the Network Stars. If that's not the pinnacle of your acting career, I don't know what is.
Yeah. So we go to the dunk tank.
Where everybody has to wear Speedo and the women have to have the tight swimsuits.
Yes.
Well, they didn't have to. But
look at Daniel Travanti's six-pack. You can tell he works out.
Yeah, I saw way more.
Thank you, Howard.
That's true. That is true. So, I mean, like, let's just look at our creepy things here that we had. And then I don't know how, first off, I don't know how the hell they got Cooney in there. And then Howard Cosell throw something, and then it hits, and then Cooney refuses to go down or something. He just like holds on to the cage. Mm-hmm. And then Ricky Schroeder is the one who puts him out, and there's Debbie yelling, "Oh, look at the kid! Oh, the kid! It's the kid! Oh, look at this kid!" That might have been why he beat women after, because it's like you didn't recognize him.
Jesus.
Well, no, I mean, Ricky Schroeder was trying to cop a feel from Heather Thomas.
Yes, that is true.
If you didn't notice where that hand was going when he had his arm around her and said, I want you in the dunk tank. Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
That is true. I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, he did pick Heather Thomas for that. Yeah, he knew where he was going with that. Who was it who picked? Oh, it was Byron Cherry of Dukes of Hazzard who picked Locklear and Thomas. And it's like, you might as well, because like in a year, you're done. You're done. You will never be famous again. So take your shot. You know that you're a scab on a TV show. Because he was playing Coy Duke on Dukes of Hazzard when that show, what exactly did they do? The two stars said like, hey,
contract dispute, right?
Yeah, contract dispute. And then they realized so much that,
we can get any blonde and dark-haired guy to come in and play two rednecks, and obviously it didn't work out that well.
Well, no, yeah, it was a total disaster. But yeah, basically that's like the two though, they left because it's like, wait a minute, you're making so much off our likeness, and we get nothing.
Nothing.
Which is pretty much why they did that. Which right. I mean, like Chris, you as an NCAA athlete at some point. I mean, like I'm sure you can get that. Exactly, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I forgot her name, but I mean, like, we won't even discuss like the ridiculous level of porn basically that was going on with Daisy Duke.
Catherine Bach.
Oh, God. Could those shorts get any? What was it, Catherine Bach?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those shorts just could not get any shorter.
Catherine Bach was on a porn show once a week, whether she meant to be or not. Mm-hmm. Because when the shorts are that short, like they're impossible to not reveal. And understand this, we only ever talk about the shorts because they took on a life of their own and they became like that's a norm, right? They're called Daisy Dukes, right? Yeah. She had on a handkerchief tying her boobs together. Like, come on.
Why do you think so many people want to be cops right now?
I don't know, man.
It's like, I can be a bungling cop and look what I'm going to get.
I guess. You're not wrong.
With Enos?
You're not wrong.
Oh, God damn it. Where the hell was I? All right, so we have our dunk tank. Yeah, so Byron Cherry has those two sort of like go there. We have a potential injury with Heather Locklear.
Well, you know, prevent yourself from going in the dunk tank by sticking your foot out of the dunk tank in the little crease there and watch yourself go down and tear your knee up or something. Yeah, that looked like she was in trouble.
That was not a genius move on Miss Locklear's part.
Nah, just go in the water.
I mean, it's just water. And you know you want us to see you wet anyway. That's why you're on the show. That's why you agreed to the That's why you agreed to the dunk tank. Ricky ain't no dummy.
Well, he became a dummy later, but yeah, Ricky was no dummy then. Which is also why I hated Ricky Schroeder, because like Jesus Christ, if I'm going to be sort of a discount Ricky Schroeder, but full me gets to like ogle these two, like God damn it, fuck you, Ricky Schroeder. Sorry, I'm just having a moment here.
Evidently, do we need to call Rick and you guys work it out? I mean, you're not a female, so you got a much better shot against him.
Could revive Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yes. Again, one of the greatest non-shows ever.
One of the things that happens, okay, so we got this sort of like passes, ABC sort of like takes over the lead. Then we have a Heather Thomas vignette.
The slow-mo. Slow-mo.
Yes.
The slow-mo. And
we're pretty much watching Heather's description. Kajoom. And if we weren't meant to ogle Heather Thomas before.
Oh, we're doing it now.
We're doing it now. And
this happened within the first half hour of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the next 90 minutes, you're bring me more Heather Thomas.
Mhm.
And with every description that Howard's describing her movements and her galloping over the field, he had to go somewhere and change his pants after the whole footage. I mean,
so that they kept that footage as an idea, and then they rebooted it with an entire show built around it called Baywatch.
Yes.
The Heather Thomas run, right? The Heather Thomas run became the Baywatch run.
So Pamela Anderson has to thank Heather Thomas for basically her whole career.
I mean, listen, if it wasn't for Heather Thomas and Charlie's Angels, Pamela Anderson doesn't have a career.
I like it. All right, so we've got that going on, and then it's like,
hey, she's Canadian, by the way.
Pam Anderson is, yes. Heather Thomas is not. So God, Cosell sort of like doing that bit where it's
that interview was painful.
Oh my God, it's like, yeah, basically we're saying like, all these people want to look at you for your looks, but I look at you for your brains. Why is it that everyone just looks at a blonde and just thinks that someone as you is stupid? I don't.
Yeah.
At which point Heather's being polite, not she's just being the consummate professional instead of just coming out and saying, well, Howard, it's because of horny men like you where I've gotten where I am today.
Well, let's be honest, She wasn't exactly a consummate professional. Heather Thomas snorted her way out of Hollywood.
But like I said
in
earlier,
that moment, I mean, she could have said, and she played along with it.
Sure, but yeah, because like she probably, into Howard's credit, she probably wasn't used to that approach.
Howard was saying the words, but the tone of his voice, the vernacular, I mean, it was just full of shit.
Of course it was. But
I mean, with a mind as fine as her body. I mean, really, Howard?
It's like,
you're bringing up her body to begin
with. Your body have this brain. You've got a brain. Your brain would look good in my pants. Oh!
Exactly, and that's exactly what Howard was thinking. He wasn't coming out and saying it, but you knew.
Yeah, but on behalf of unattractive of people who could speak, that's our game.
Jesus. Oh man.
Oh, man. Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, we're shitting on Howard. Howard apparently was like a super husband and just a great guy in terms of his marriage. So I just want to make that, from what I've read, from what I've learned.
Yeah, I guess we'll go with that.
Okay. Well,
we got no other evidence to base it.
No, I don't. But then they talked about sort of like how Heather Thomas, and this one I don't remember at all, how she got upset about how they used her head and zapped like for a video. Or no, sorry.
Yeah, I never knew that.
No, that I didn't know. So like apparently they superimposed her head in someone else's body in the movie Zap. I don't remember her in that movie.
I don't either.
Movie.
No clue about that.
Yeah, I got nothing.
But it was interesting where even back then, producers, directors were trying to get actors to do something that they didn't want, but then when they weren't looking, okay, well, we're going to do this, and
kudos on her.
We want anyway.
Like kudos on her. Like, yeah, okay, she had her demons with drugs, but she said like, okay, this is who I am. I'm not going to do this. So
right.
And I think that's awesome. So we go to the obstacle course, and Lamont got injured because they do a bit of a montage, and they took him away in an ambulance, and I thought that was the last time he was ever seen.
No, he had his Willis Reed moment.
Yes, he did.
No, I thought that was it. I thought that was it for Damon Wilson.
Yeah. When I was watching that, and then we had talked about it last week, Chris, you brought up there's no way this could ever happen today because of
no chance.
Contracts, liability. Could you imagine if that's Patrick Mahomes busting his shoulder during the obstacle course? See that on Sports Center.
Yeah, No insurance company would take this on.
No.
So then they show,
not at all.
the different heats. So we have Penny Pizer against Melissa Gilbert. So Melissa barely wins. We learn a bit more about Penny Pizer from a clip on, what was it? From All the President's Men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, where apparently she's a congressman's daughter. Also, too, in that clip, we learned also two things. A, she's a congressman's daughter, legit. B, she can't act worth shit.
Are you saying Dustin Hoffman was carrying her during that scene?
I'm saying that Dustin Hoffman was carrying her during that scene. That's exactly what I'm saying. So we have that. The men's heats, we got Cherry versus Collins. Cooney shows up. I just wrote down he's more of a moron. I don't remember why. Oh yeah, instant replay, touching water, and then just brought up Cooney like bleh, 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 water, bleh. Moron, fucking idiot.
Oh, Jerry Cooney getting crushed today.
Not something we thought when we decided to pick this, right?
No,
Oh,
we thought it'd all be about
man.
Howard.
I don't remember Jerry Cooney in this at all.
No, I don't. That's first. I obviously know who Jerry Cooney was, but I'm thinking, damn, he just does, and he does not look good at all. I mean, he looks like a rundown boxer.
Which he was.
You know what I find interesting about this whole show? Howard Cosell is the thing that legitimized the show as an athletic event.
Yes, 1,000%.
Right, like you had the Battle of the Network Stars, but it's not a thing if you don't get Howard Cosell, because in those days it wasn't a sporting event, certainly not a worthwhile one that you watched, if Howard wasn't on it. So it's like, in a lot of ways, he was the most important piece to all of this nonsense, which is crazy to think.
Well, I think
I mean, at the time, was he still the voice of Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
There you go.
He would have been, yeah.
There you go.
Howard Cosell was the person I think I said this last week when we recorded a show that didn't work because my computer sucked, but I'll leave it at
that. Carpenters don't blame their tools.
Damn. Even Karen Carpenter?
Are we going to pick on Karen Carpenter now?
Right, we're picking on Karen Carpenter now?
The fact that both of you got that joke really exposes your age. So I'm going to move on.
I mean, these are facts.
Yeah, thanks. But because the two of you were athletes, I knew I couldn't be. So I wanted to be a broadcaster. I wanted to be Cosell. And then I didn't. I didn't pursue that. And that's my greatest regret in life. And now I do this. So apparently it all worked out.
Absolutely.
But Howard, it's like the greatest thing about Howard is there was only one, right? Like so if you tried to be Howard Cosell now, you would be Dennis Miller on Monday Night Football. And you see how badly it worked?
Right. Yeah, that was horrible.
But it's the same thing, right? A guy who made his chops somewhere else, brought a different shtick to sportcasting, and was always smartest guy in the room, right? That was Howard Cosell. That's why he used words like pedantic as he pertains to an athletic account, right? That's not a thing, right? The temerity and the gall, like these are the kind of things that you don't say when you're watching sporting events, right? So when you brought that into like the new age, that's Dennis Miller. I mean, Dennis Miller's comedy is always one that you need to be intelligent to get, right? He's a very highbrow guy, and it just didn't play. But so I always wonder, like, if
he tried to like
Howard about, if you brought Howard now, like, would it work? If you were today's sportscaster and you tried to use the word truculent, I mean, does it work? Like, I just think Howard he never got credit for being a genuine unicorn, because there was never one like him before, and nobody after him like him either. And the ones who like pseudo tried, like he was so him, like you couldn't try.
All right, so Chris, when you competed, when you envisioned you doing your thing, like, was there somebody you envisioned as sort of like the voice?
Oh, like if I did something great, who would I want to announce it?
Yeah.
It's a very easy one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you believe in miracles?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Because Al Michaels look, I was 10 years old in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's the guy. And he did. So look, Howard had Monday Night Football, which I loved, but I, like every other pseudo athletic kid at that age, watched the Wide World of Sports. Right. And so so he was my guy, right? Like he was my guy. Al Michaels was and is he's the dude to me.
And you met them both, I presume?
Never met Howard.
Oh, okay.
Never met Howard.
Or Debbie Allen.
I've never met Debbie Allen.
He wasn't on the list. I didn't see Chris Huffins on the list.
No. I have met Norm Nixon though.
Oh,
okay. Well, okay, and there's our degrees of separation with Debbie Allen. We didn't have to go that far.
Yeah, for Chris. For me, I don't know if we're gonna get to the 6.
Oh man.
Oh, we know Chris, right?
Oh, there you go.
I mean,
are we not counting him?
Oh boys, I love all of this.
All right. Where do we leave off here?
We're still at the obstacle course.
Or
did we get there?
Yeah, we got to the obstacles course. So yeah, Demond Wilson, shoulder injury, out, taken away in an ambulance, and I thought we'd never see him again. Let's just get to right here the Melissa Gilbert bit.
Oh God. Poor Melissa Gilbert.
All right. So she was, I didn't know that she was only 18 at this point. I also did not do that much research. I mean, I obviously looked at who was the co-host and all that shit. I didn't know that Melissa Gilbert appeared in multiple episodes of this. So at this point, she was in Little House, The New Beginning or something like that. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. So she was a few years removed from, I guess, whatever her character was. But she had appeared in a few of these. And they did a montage featuring, I don't know who the hell the singer is, but the creepiest motherfucking sorry for my language. Well, no, it's my show. I can say whatever I want.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. And they did. Thank heaven for little girls, featuring Melissa Gilbert with her half pint braids, and then just doing some montage.
Melissa Gilbert through the years as she blossoms into adulthood.
From like age 8 to age 18. Maybe the creepiest shit ever, like on network television that we're just supposed to be watching. It was like, hey, if you're a pedophile, tune in now.
This should be the montage on Law and Order SVU. It was that bad. It was the worst thing. Like, and whoever, oh my God, whoever thinks this is the go-to song. Okay, FBI, if they're still alive, investigate that person. It's like, what the hell are you thinking?
And then Howard chimes in with, thank heaven for Melissa. Like, oh, Howard. Why, Howard?
Oh my God, it was awful. So they do that. Michael Warren, who is this amazing athlete, just sucks at this. And basically he calls him a joke.
Which thing is it? Where are we at? Which sporting event are we on?
We're still obstacle course.
We're in the obstacle course. And for whatever reason, Michael Warren he's got a mind fuck on the tires.
It was so weird. Didn't he fall?
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell, and he's having his interview with Debbie Allen when it's just basically softcore porn going on.
Oh yeah, where it's pretty much obvious that those two have already slept together or are about to.
You know, he's not on the list. I have no proof that he's on Debbie Allen's list, but I think he's there.
You know why he's not on the list? He's not on the list because it couldn't be public because he was a basketball player at the same time as Norm Nixon.
Yeah, but that was still before 84.
Yeah, but
because Norm Nixon, someone we're going to protect.
Hey, at the time. By the way, okay, so wait a minute. Just think about this. Melissa Gilbert was 18 in this show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How old do we think Bruce Boxleitner was then?
I don't remember any Bruce Boxleitner, Melissa Gilbert creepy moments, but I don't know. 25?
Bruce Boxleitner and Melissa Gilbert were later married. That's why I asked the question.
I didn't know that. Holy shit. No, I did not know that.
I'm looking it up. Bruce Boxleitner and Melissa Gilbert were married from 1995 to 2011. If this was 82 and she was 18, so that's 13 years later. So they got married when she was 31.
Well, so
that's not a big deal.
He was beaten off to the obstacle course memories.
I mean, yeah, because she was married to somebody named Tim Busfield.
Oh shit! You know who that is?
No.
Before that.
Okay, Tim Busfield is Poindexter from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh my god!
And it comes full circle.
Crazy. Well, that's who she was married to first, and then Bruce Boxleitner. And then
why do I know this?
Bo Brinkman.
Never heard of him.
Oh wait, hold on. No, I read them in reverse order. She was married to Bo Brinkman from '88. So think about that. She got married 6 years later, because that was in '82 that we're watching. So she was married to Bo Brinkman. Then she was married to Bruce Boxleitner. She is still currently married to Timothy Busfield.
Dun, 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 dun. No, okay.
No.
And it's crazy because she's only 5 years older than me.
I've got here a note here too. So like Melissa Gilbert, she was like doing super well. She's apparently not a bad athlete. So she lost the finals of the women's heat. And I have a note here. There's Ricky Schroeder here, like touching her legs here, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Doesn't age well. Doesn't age well, Ricky, my doppelganger motherfucker. Sorry.
You want to know the oddest thing about all the things we're talking about? Mm-hmm. Melissa Gilbert's birthday is tomorrow.
Should we send a copy of the show to her?
We still
Happy
got
birthday,
your back.
Melissa.
We still got your back, Melissa.
Absolutely.
Whenever you want to come on the show, talk about your Battle of the Network stars reign. We'll have you.
Lord.
And so we have Cosell calling Michael Warren a choke artist. They move on. John James is on his way.
Well, are we going to talk about the Debbie? I just love this Debbie Allen, Michael Warren interview.
Oh yeah, please go ahead with that.
Where he talks about, again, he had the tire issue, and I guess Debbie Allen brought up something. Well, your feet seem to be too big. Are they getting in the way of these tires? And they talked about his shoes, and Debbie said, "Well, you're wearing smaller shoes." And he says, "Well, yeah, my feet aren't small, but my shoes are. I put on a size 8." And I'm thinking, Debbie just wants to come out of nowhere and say, "Yes, Michael, I know you're not a size 8. You don't have to tell the rest of the world that."
For sure.
Yeah. Just the innuendo there revolving around Michael Warren's shoe size and Debbie Allen pointing it out.
There was no doubt in my mind at that point in time that those two had been together.
I did the shoe size. I was drinking. If I was drinking something at the time, I spit it all over my living room. Just when he talked, I'm wearing a size 8, but my feet aren't that small.
Want to see my size 8? For me, it's always been like, want to see my size 3 1/4. It's worked because I have a great personality. But anyway.
Oh my God, this show is so off the rails right now.
Yeah, well, I'm the one who's a trophy husband, so I did something right.
You are a trophy husband.
Mm-hmm.
Please never let us forget that.
He's going to repeat that. In fact, that might make it onto the website. Kirk.
Yes. Kirk.
Trophy husband Buchner.
That works.
Oh,
all right, moving on. We've got the
his new name is TH. His new nickname is TH.
TH? Trophy husband? I like that.
Trophy husband.
I like. All right.
Then wasn't there a Cooney dispute? Didn't he have to like do a ruling on either someone stepped into the water?
Yeah, during that, but he just pretty much said blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why you can't have him as commissioner.
So we got the
you can't have former boxers doing anything.
You can't. Muhammad Ali had the shit pounded out of him by 1983. Muhammad Ali could still sort of like have charisma. Jerry Cooney had no charisma ever.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I guess when you have $360,000 and you got to put most of it towards the athletes' first, second, third prizes, you really don't have a lot left over for the commissioner. So you get what you get.
The commissioner, and not just that, he's a commissioner of a non-league. He's a commissioner of a show.
He's about as much of a commissioner as Jack Tunney was in the World Wrestling Federation. Anyone?
There's a name.
At least that's a league, though. At least Jack Tunney was a commissioner of a league. Jerry Cooney was commissioner of a show.
Okay. Cooney doesn't even remember what the hell he did there.
No chance.
And that was the day of. Like, there's no way he knows what the hell he did. What do we got here?
Tandem bicycle race.
Yeah, the tandem bicycle race.
And this is where Demond Wilson has his resurrection. Comes back from the shoulder.
Yeah,
and so let's take a timeout right here and say this. They need to bring back anyone doing a tandem bicycle race.
And why is that,
anyone? Because, listen, has anybody ever talked to you about how the fact that it's like impossible to look manly drinking out of a straw? It's impossible. And see, once I tell you it right now, every time you look at a straw, you're gonna look at the straw the same way.
Well, I'm just not gonna use a straw.
Exactly.
I'm the one who drinks out of a straw, and I'm the least manly one here.
Tandem bicycle cannot be manly. It just can't. And therefore, any race between any two men on, you could put William Shatner and James Bond on a tandem bicycle
on the same bike,
and I'm gonna laugh.
Well, it didn't help that the person in back is basically up the other person's ass. I mean, here you are, your head's down, and the butt is sticking right up there. So right then and there, there's nothing you can do about that. You're hoping your teammate didn't have Mexican the day before, otherwise it's going to be a long ride.
Ever watched Man Luge?
Oh.
Same concept.
Okay.
Same
Chris,
concept.
Your good friend Dan Steele.
Yes.
So, like because he was and I'm kind of curious. I want to interview him at some point. So he was a decathlete like you, right?
Correct.
All right. So he went into the bobsled.
That's different.
No, I know it's
two-man luge in those skin-tight outfits, not really hiding anything.
I'm not saying that
your partner gets on, and that's just way too much intimacy for me.
No,
you're literally just laying there bouncing your head on the nuts. That's what you do.
I totally get that. But
you just
Oh, and for the listeners at home, I don't know if you're going to see the video of this, but Chris just doing that.
You know it was the best. Oh my God.
It's an interesting thing. Like, how the hell who came up with this?
Don't know.
Two-man luge?
Yes.
I just
it was
know this.
removed from the Olympics for a while, I think.
One of my former training partners, when he came upon the two-man luge, that then it took on a mind of its own, and it then became the ultimate insult. Like, you were not a loser anymore. You were a loser. Oh man, yeah. So I'm telling you that to me, a tandem bicycle race would be. It wouldn't matter who did it. I would laugh. It would be tremendous. It would be tremendous television, no matter who. If I said, I mean, who are the two most manly people on the planet, right? James Bond and the dude from the Dos Equis commercials. No. The most dangerous man in the world. I don't always drink beer.
Dos Equis guy?
Yeah, the Dos Equis guy for sure.
The most interesting man in the world. Okay, yeah. Yes.
Put him and James Bond on there. Put the Rock.
Tuxedos.
Yeah, put the Rock and whoever else you think is cool. It doesn't matter. You can't be cool if you put the Rock and Vin Diesel on a tandem bicycle. It's comical.
Mr. Rock and Mr. Diesel, if you're listening, we'd like to make that happen.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. That's why they need to bring back. They don't need to bring back this show because I think it'd be impossible. But there needs to be some sort of tandem bicycle racing in my life because it doesn't get any better.
Chris needs some fulfillment.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I took the show off the rails, but I'm sorry.
Nothing. I don't even remember who the hell won this shit here. At this point, I have my notes. CBS was eliminated.
I don't even remember who was on CBS at the time.
Most of which we can't even remember. Delta Burke finally showed up.
Uh-oh, what'd she do?
She was on the tandem bike.
There we go. Mm. See, look, if I say Delta Burke on a tandem bike, see what happens? You can't not smile.
What version of Delta Burke are we talking about?
Because it's funny either way.
So Delta Burke,
it's funnier one way than the other.
No, because when she was skinny and hot, Delta Burke, now you're trying to decide: do we put her and her assets in the front or on the back? If she's big, Delta Burke, you can't put her on the back because then you're doing a wheelie. So at the end of the day, right? Like it's good either way. Tandem bike is like blue jeans, man. It's always going to be good.
And I thought I'd be the most offensive person on the show.
I don't know. Are my tandem bike comments offensive? I'm not meaning to be.
Everybody's offended by everything nowadays.
Oh, well, to all tandem bike riders, please forgive me. I absolutely am attempting to be funny and jocular, not to be offensive in any way, shape, or form.
All right, well, okay, so let's move on to Lamont, who actually was offensive because he had an interview here. So they talked about how he's a Vietnam War vet. Didn't know that. That's kind of interesting. His wife's a photographer. I looked more about his wife, who's still his wife, which is kind of awesome. Well, not kind of awesome. It's awesome.
It's rare.
It is. Who was a model. And then here's his quote as she's taking pictures of him playing tennis. Her work going to be on television. She going to show him any day now, and they'll say, whoa, we didn't know that she could just have him. We thought she just only could have babies.
Mm.
Yeah.
Not his best work.
Wow. No.
But the thing that the kicker is, I mean, this isn't a live telecast. This isn't a live interview. This is all done on tape. Mm-hmm. And someone in headquarters thought this was a good thing to get through the editing process, put it on film, and put it on TV on a Friday night in primetime.
Yup.
Yeah, but Glenn, for this year, that was woke.
Yeah.
That was
and
woke,
again, it's
where
just
you had somebody
how-
saying, no, but it was. You had somebody
Yeah.
saying like, hey, my wife just doesn't have babies. See, look what I said.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just
weird
so
to say.
cringeworthy.
Oh, totally.
I mean, and I'm guessing you guys had the same feeling when you were watching this. I mean, again, I saw it as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and probably thought it was the greatest thing ever. And just reviewing it this many years later, it's just, ooh, this is not good. I mean, I equate it to that once every 5, 10, 15 years, I got to retry the chicken McNuggets to see if they've changed or gotten better. And they haven't. I mean, this whole thing, and I mean, I want to say Battle of the Network Stars went up to 88 or something crazy like that. And I may seriously have to go back and watch all of these just to see if they've progressed or gotten better until they were finally cut. And then I didn't realize they did a reboot in 2017. And I'm trying to figure out, where was I and why didn't I see that?
What I was going to say, why did I not know that? Because I'm definitely going to go find that.
Oh yeah, I was actually doing some research. Kirk's not, I guess, the only geek in this room. But yeah, I mean, where was I where I didn't know that this was resurrected? But yeah, just, I mean, and maybe I may have been confusing it with the Superstars version, which came out, I guess, in 73, where they actually had the athletes competing in these similar events. Maybe that holds up a little better. But yeah, just some of the cringeworthy interviews and the fact that they allowed that interview to get on air.
But at that point in time,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, no, at that point in time, they thought like, look what we're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
That was edgy. That was cutting edge.
Oh, sure.
That was advanced.
I mean, it's 7, 8 years old. I think my mom was at home taking care of me and my brother. And it wasn't until the mid 80s where she finished her degree, got her teaching certificates, master's degree, and went out into the workplace to teach. And that was mid to late 80s.
All right, so we got a relay, which I guess is the final thing. CBS has already eliminated. Kevin Dobson takes the lead. Heather Locklear passes Delta Burke, and in the line
she was rolling. Hey, Heather Locklear was rolling.
Heather Locklear was rolling, but
did she have to make up?
Passing her as if she was standing still.
Yes.
Well, she was on Ricky Schroeder's team, right? She had to make up that gap.
Did Schroeder? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So with each this, if you're sort of like watching this just for fun, in every legs there was somebody passed.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a lead change. So long story short, Byron Cherry sort of like won the whole thing for CBS. Didn't matter because at that point it was just for pride.
Well, you had to fill in the 2 hours.
Well, yeah, but they were eliminated at that point.
Yeah.
So, and at that point, we never saw Coy or Vance again. They were done. They were done. So we go right to the tug of war, and all right, Chris, you're an Olympian, so I got to ask you this. I done my research in old athletics and shit like that. The tug of war used to be an Olympic sport. The tug of war is awesome. It is like one of my most favorite
it's something
to watch.
I don't know if awesome is the word I would use for it, but it is definitely something.
But what word would you use? I mean, like watching this thing, and I've watched some of these, they're incredible. Like
I think the tug of war word I would use would be Neanderthalic.
Okay.
So yeah. That doesn't make it bad. I mean, I think some of the best things on television are Neanderthalic.
Sure. But I mean, like, so was weightlifting.
NFL football is Neanderthalic. Yeah.
Like, the tug of war is a great coup de grace for this event.
Sure, winner take all.
I love this.
And the best part about the tug of war, honestly, is it is not brute strength. Right? It always starts that way. It becomes will and willpower and determination and endurance and all those things, right? It always starts off as rah, 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 but it's never that. It's never that because it's not over that fast. You
And I'm
know, so
wondering
it's
how
not.
long that actually took, because I'm assuming that was edited. I would love to know how long it took that whole single event to take place,
Well,
because
the
there was
whole
some
thing,
pain on those faces.
the whole thing took over 2 days.
Right, but that one event
Yeah.
at the end of the show, I mean, Helen Hunt
Right.
looked like she wanted to die.
Yeah.
Well, because that's probably physically the hardest
Oh,
thing
yeah.
she's ever done.
Yeah.
That probably is like one of the hardest physical things she's ever done.
So before we get to the winner, I just sort of like want to go to the tail of the tape. All right. So the heaviest person here is Daniel G. Travanti at 196. Bullshit. Shatner's
Not buying that.
177.
Shatner's listed at what?
177.
Could
Yeah,
be.
I mean, they're all actors, so they're all tiny.
I mean, you saw a lot. I mean, a few of them were in their Speedos and their swimsuits. I mean, none of them really looked.
Well, for fuck, I'm heavier than all of these. I know I'm
Yes.
in shape, but
Yeah.
really?
No, you are.
Your weight, no
Yep.
question. I mean, look, do you realize how different in size Tom Cruise is from what people think he is?
Well, no, I know Tom Cruise is like a midget, but yeah.
But he's also not very big. It's not. Look, Russell Wilson isn't super tall, but he's a thick dude, right? Actors that play guys that we all think are so like large and in charge and machismo, like most of those guys are about 5'8" and 150 pounds.
I think you just shattered Kirk's world.
You kind of did. I just don't want to think that I'm the second heaviest one behind Travanti at this point, because I'm a freaking midget at this point. So
You would have been a great anchor.
apparently, yeah. I would be the anchor. I'm going to be the person who leads everyone here in Tech War. Okay, genre.
Oh man.
Never said I was cool.
All right, what do we got here? What do we got at the conclusion? Because I think the way these things ended were also spectacular.
All right, ABC wins. Shatner gives a humble brag, and then right at the end, which is pretty much why we picked this one, Cosell sort of like puts his arm around Debbie Allen and just says, "You make it hard for me, baby," or something to that effect. I'm pretty sure that Cosell did not leave with Debbie Allen.
No, he didn't.
Wife, he probably envisioned as something else that night.
Yeah, Debbie's dance card was full from that day. So Debbie
might have been the hottest one there, which is impressive considering that was Locklear and Heather Thomas.
Look,
this was
listen,
the Debbie Allen thing.
I was one of the biggest Debbie Allen fans on this planet, but I just want to say this for the record. On no day ever has Debbie Allen been hotter than Heather Locklear. Ever.
Today she might have been.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, the Heathers were the Heathers.
Okay, maybe I'm a little bit biased because like whenever somebody said to me like, okay, so who would you be? Like Ginger or Marianne? My answer was always Tootie.
Okay, but that's a different conversation.
So,
listen, you can't be my age, and if you were my age, you didn't have a full-fledged crush on Tootie, you're a liar. It's not even that it didn't happen, you're a liar.
Okay, which I'm not.
So exactly. So like, yeah, of course I get that Tootie was your one, but that's not the conversation. The conversation right now is between Debbie Allen from Fame or Heather Locklear from Everything.
Okay, at that point, I would have been Locklear.
Right.
Right now, looking back, it's all Debbie all the time.
It's because you saw the list. 1982. And you saw her versatility. It's because you saw the list and Debbie Allen's versatility.
We're talking about versatility, like when she did sort of like the montage of her dance and the leg thing that she can't do anymore. Which is kind of funny because like I was telling my wife here when we were talking about that and with Debbie Allen, she says like, what do you mean the old woman from Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, okay.
Made me feel old.
The Priceline commercials, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
She's
well-
just.
Well,
She's just doing it to
this
you.
is the shit you have to go through when you're a trophy husband. You just have to take the shit.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Well, we'll never know. We'll never know.
Oh, please,
joys-
medalist in the Olympics. I don't want
The
to.
joys and greatness of being a trophy husband.
Yeah, it must be rough.
Honey, can I be a trophy husband? Y'all can't hear the laugh that came out of the bathroom. Just trust me. Yeah, it was similar to that laugh right there. I don't think trophy husband is in my future.
There's only so few of us who can look this good.
Clearly.
God damn it.
I still think Glenn has it right. In what world are you the trophy?
The Caribbean.
Somewhere in Barbados.
Only in
Caribbean.
Barbados.
But I'm looking at some of these other Battle of the Network Stars episodes, and you got Tony Danza as a captain in '85, Lorenzo Lamas, Bubba Smith.
So I remember the Tony Danza one, and I remember the Bubba Smith one.
Tony Danza would be a good one. I do a great Tony Danza, by the way. Samantha, Angela, Mona.
See, you asked me about Jersey accents. There you go.
Was that a Jersey thing? Okay. I had no idea. Both
Scott Baio was a captain in 1981.
Scott Baio, his cock was apparently like the gateway for all of these people.
Scott Baio.
Baio,
first of all,
yeah.
Is there anybody who's ever played roles underneath his actual age for more time? Like, that dude played teenage characters for like 20 years, and he wasn't a teenager for any of them.
Mm, true. Scott Baio was with Heather Locklear, Melissa Gilbert, and Heather Thomas.
So basically, he made his bones on Battle of the Network Stars.
And then he would later be on Battle of the Network Stars.
I was like, did he make his bones or did he bone on Battle of the Network Stars?
Thank you for going there. I appreciate that. Served it up. I put it up there on a tee.
Had to happen.
All right. So that, I think, ends this episode. I think I need to end this because if we continue, the two of them will make more fun of me.
Never. Come on.
Never you, TH.
That might stick.
UTH?
TH.
TH.
What's TH?
Trophy husband.
Or trophy?
He already forgot.
Gosh. He already forgot.
No, I heard UTH. It's like University of what?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Glenn, we try. We're trying to bring him along, but
Eventually.
All right. You know what? After this, I'm going to the beach. So there you go.
Whatever.
Oh, I see.
Are you gonna wear your Battle of the Network Stars Speedo?
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh God, no! Because there's no Speedo to make me look good, unless there's a tattoo over my cock that says "Objects over me or bigger than they appear."
Objects in the rearview mirror appear closer than they are.
You got
On that note,
Kirk has a Speedo that says, "I'm a grower, not a shower."
You know what? You joke, but that sort of worked.
Oh,
we're gonna edit this out, right?
No, I'm not. That involves work. I'm not editing shit. So that's fine. Make fun of me all you want. That's all right. That happens on all of my shows. I'm okay with that.
We know you are. So yeah, Battle of the Network Stars.
All right. So
I'm going to spend the rest of my free time today watching episodes of Battle of the Network Stars, right?
I got to go and see that 2017 reboot. I got to find that.
If you find it, send me the link.
I will do that.
I'm definitely all about that.
Well, we should look at the one with OJ and Bruce as the co-hosts in episode 2.
Yes, for sure. And you can already book me for that episode.
So that was 77?
I just know it's episode 2.
Okay, where are we? Telly Savalas is the captain for that one.
Oh man.
if I'm not
What
mistaken.
site are you on that you found all of the like the whole?
I'm on Wikipedia.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see
The
if I can get this to you.
discography of Battle of the Network stars. Gotta love it.
Where are we?
Now, the thing is, though, you knew it. We said,
Because I watched it.
yeah.
Right. I have a strange memory in that if I see something, I usually got it locked in. So and you got to remember, I was like the most impressionable age of all at this time. 77, I was 7, and the show ended in what year? 84?
Something like that, yeah.
88 was their last.
Yeah.
So 88, I was 18. So I mean, 7 to 18, anything that happened to any boy in that age, he remembers forever.
Maybe, okay. You were going out getting dates. I wasn't. What the hell is your
I
excuse?
wasn't. What dates was I going to get at 7?
He was winning gold medals.
Oh my, you guys are hilarious. Like, you think about it like this. I didn't
Chris was winning
I
World
didn't even
Juniors.
start doing track till 86. Like, I thought I was a basketball player at this time.
Oh, he was only a basketball player.
All right. Well, we're going to call this
Lord.
an end.
Sounds good.
All right. Take
Been
care,
great,
everyone.
boys. Have a good night.